Thank you for joining us here on the main news. I'm Justin Matlahla. Susan Masona joins us at the sign language desk.
And I'm Tariro Manamike with Sibukele Maposa at our Montreux studios. We now give you the news headlines.
South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa sworn in as president for the second term.
In business, government effects the 50-50 currency ratio for payment of income tax by corporates.
Later on in sport, Zimbabwe lines up strong team for Africa Senior Athletics Championships.
And we now give you the news in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa says the inauguration of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is confirmation of the country's commitment to building a prosperous democratic nation.
He was speaking after attending President Ramaphosa's inauguration in Pretoria this Wednesday. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, has more.
It all began with the 29th of May 2024 general election when millions of South Africans trooped to the polls to elect a party of their choice to run their country for the next 5 years. Unlike the past 30 years where the African National Congress, ANC, of Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma, Matamela, Cyril Ramaphosa ruled without much challenge, the results of the 24 general elections saw the African National Congress needing a partner or partners to form a government, as it failed to pass the 50% plus one vote as dictated to by their constitution. They have since gone into coalition government with the Conservative Democratic Alliance, the Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, the Good Party, and the Patriotic Alliance, achieving over 68%. They have kept the Economic Freedom Fighters and Umkhonto weSizwe MK Party out of government, and the two have 25% of the vote. The 19th of June 2024 saw the swearing in of President-elect Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, who took the oath of office in front of several world leaders, including those from our region and those from across Africa. The President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, was among the leaders in attendance.
I, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, observe, uphold, and maintain the Constitution and all other law of the Republic.
Addressing the South African nation, the world at large, South African President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa said he is guided by the Constitution of the Republic, the Freedom Charter, and they are more than ever determined to create a non-racial, prosperous democratic republic for the benefit of all South Africans.
By our deeds, we shall heal the divisions of our past and overcome the ongoing inequalities and hardships of the present. We declare to all to know that neither discord nor dissent shall cause us to cast aside that which calls us to build a united, free, just, equal, and prosperous nation. On this day, we assert by solemn oath the will of the people of this country. We affirm our unwavering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which is based on the enduring vision that sets out the values inscribed in the Freedom Charter. As the leadership of this diverse nation, we have a sacred duty to unite the people of South Africa.
Meanwhile, the President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, has arrived back home and was welcomed at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport by the two Vice President, General Retired Dr. Constantino Gouveia Chiwenga and Colonel Retired Colonel Dugish Mohadi, several cabinet ministers, several service chiefs, and senior government officials. The president then spoke to journalists about developments which he witnessed in South Africa.
There was attendance of the majority of SADC heads of state were there, and the attendance of also of some friendly countries like Cuba, they were there. Several heads of state, I think there were more than 8 heads of state who attended. It went very, very well. The people of South Africa also came in their numbers, and very smooth.
And his speech?
His speech was focused, I think, on the future for development. He spoke about unity, that they must be united moving forward. My other takeaway was that he's anxious to have this current unity they are building up to move forward together, because he was very conciliatory with the other groups that we need to be united to develop our country, which of course is the correct thing to do as a leader.
Lest we forget, said one journalist from South Africa, the 30-year cycles have been the time when negative forces tend to re-energize themselves after taking a back seat for some time. Remember in Zimbabwe in 2008 general election that gave birth to the coalition government in Zimbabwe. Food for thought to many students of history, said this academic. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe plans to harness the upcoming SADC Industrialization Week to showcase its vast business opportunities to regional investors.
A briefing to SADC ambassadors on Zimbabwe's readiness to host the Industrialization Week was held in Harare this Wednesday, with government and private sector representatives outlining their plans. Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries Chief Executive Officer Ms. Kaiku told diplomats that Zimbabwe will also use the platform to propel regional cooperation.
We also recognize that industrialization is at the end of the day business. So it is critical for business to actively participate in the SADC Industrialization Week.
Government is upbeat that the SADC Industrialization Week will position Zimbabwe as a viable business destination.
I really hope that as member states we are going to utilize that opportunity to thoroughly introspect, see if we are on the right track towards achieving the targets that our heads of state set for us, or if there is work to do, how can we continue to increase our collaboration and strengthen our synergies.
The SADC Industrialization Week, which will be held in Zimbabwe from the 20th of July to the 2nd of August, is an annual platform for SADC member states, the private sector, government representatives, researchers, global agencies, and policymakers to exchange ideas on industrial growth and economic transformation. This year's Industrialization Week will be held ahead of the SADC Heads of State and Government Summit, which will see Zimbabwe assuming a chairmanship of the regional bloc. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Parirenyatwa Group of Hospitals Radiotherapy Unit has resumed operations after a 2.5-year shutdown due to the breakdown of machines. Our health editor Abigail Tembo gives us more.
With private hospitals charging exorbitant fees which range from $5,000 to $10,000 for 25 radiotherapy sessions, Parirenyatwa Group of Hospitals Radiotherapy Unit is the only source of hope for cancer patients in Zimbabwe.
Pharmaceutical yakatanga kushanda ndo panakatanga kwa service iyoyo. Treatment iri pano yakanaka nevakawedzera mishina nekuti vanhu vanorwara nezvirwere zvana cancer vakawanda.
Inini ndatanga nhasi kuenda kuskani. Skani yangu CT scan yatanga kuitwa nhasi. Radiotherapy ndinenge ndakuzofonerwa kuti ndichitanga next week. Zvinofadza chaizvo kuti mamachines aakushanda uye takwanisa kurapwa kunzoko zvanga zvichidhura.
Paranyatwa Group of Hospitals Head of Radiology Department, Dr. Notando Mutizira, confirmed the reopening of the unit, adding that the other 2 machines are expected to be operational soon to enable the unit to operate at full capacity.
We are slowly adding patients. So far we have 10 patients as of today who are on the machine. We hope to add another 6 this week, and we'll be adding 6 patients per week as we go. When the department is functioning at its peak, we normally have about 60 patients on radiotherapy per day.
The Ministry of Health and Child Care played a critical role in securing a 3-year service contract for the machines.
Whenever we have breakdowns, now that we have a service contract, we know that any issues can be addressed timeously, unlike before.
Radiotherapy machines are used to treat a wide variety of cancers, including brain, breast, lung, and prostate cancer. The machines can be used in combination with other ways of treating cancer, such as surgery and chemotherapy. According to the Ministry of Health and Child Care, cancer remains a major cause of morbidity and mortality, with more than 5,000 new cases diagnosed annually and over 1,500 deaths per year. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Government is tightening the enforcement of road traffic laws to curb road carnage after 25 lives were lost recently in 10 road accidents.
The Mazoe road traffic accident, which left 5 people dead Tuesday afternoon, is the latest in a series of horrific road accidents which have claimed 25 lives. The accident occurred when a commuter omnibus driver tried to overtake a Toyota Belter, whose driver was avoiding a broken-down vehicle on a blind curve. It has also emerged the commuter omnibus driver had earlier evaded a VID and police roadblock, with the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Honorable Felix Mona, raising concern over road carnage statistics.
Zvaitika mazuva 10 apfuura izvi zvashungurudza zvikuru baba vaMnangagwa vanova ndivo president wenyika ino. Vari kuti hatingarambe tichiona tsaona. Tikada kutarisa mazuva 10 apfuura tarasikirwa neupenyu unosvika 25 zvichireva izvo kuti pane zvisiri kufamba zvakanaka mumugwagwa yedu. Tsaona dzose dzaitika, varidzi vemichovha iyi vari kuwanikwa vasina mapepa anovatendera kuti vapinde pamugwagwa, yatinoti pachirungu certificate of fitness.
Government will tighten road traffic laws to ensure errant drivers are brought to book.
Tine basa ratiri kuita rekuisa masystems etechnology. Tichibva pano navamona nevamwe vangu tinoita musangano webasa iroro. Tiri kuzviitira kuti tive nemasystems etechnology anobata vanhu, angave makamera, chingave chii, kuitira kuti vanhu vafambe zvakanaka mumigwagwa. Asi takamirira izvozvo, tinofanira kuongorora kuti mitemo yedu, iyo mitemo pachayo, yakanyatsomira zvakanaka here kuti tidzivirire zvakadai zviri kuitika.
Government has since stepped in to assist cover funeral costs for the bereaved and medical bills for the injured.
Seprovince tarasikirwa, asi chitiko ichi chingadai chakaavoidwa dai kuri kuti madhiraivha akateedzera zvinodiwa mumugwagwa. Panapa pakatomakwa kuti apa overtake.
Kuti bhazi harina mapepa ratova dambudziko rehurumende kubatsira vakuwara nekuviga vafi. Saka vafi vachavigwa nehurumende, vakuwara vacharapiswa nehurumende.
Cabinet ministers are now going back to the drawing board to formulate strategies on mitigating road traffic accidents, but in the meantime, strict enforcement of road traffic laws will be implemented, with a statement to be issued in the next few days. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mazoe.
Meanwhile, Zimbabweans have blamed bad driving habits for the spike in the recent fatal road accidents.
As road traffic accidents continue to soar, the public has called for a behavioral change among drivers to curb road carnage.
No defensive driving inokudzidzisa kuti nyangwe wanga uri right kana wanga uri wrong unokwanisa kuavoid accident. Chechipiri, madrivers aya ngasiye tsika yekudzingirirana.
Ini sokufunga kwangu ndaifunga kuti dai vanhu tanzi taita defensive ive iripo because ndo chimwe chinhu chechunhu chiri kukonzeresa icho kuti hatina madefensive madriver mazhinji. Vatyairi havasi kuteedzera mitemo yemimigwagwa, ndo chekutanga. Chechipiri, vamwe vatyairi vayo ndiri kuona vazhinji vari kutyaira vakadhakwa.
Most of the recent accidents have been attributed to human error, with the Zimbabwe Republic Police committing to tightening law enforcement, monitoring and evaluation of vehicles along highway checkpoints.
Commissioner General of Police will be presenting his yearly report to the authorities. But with regards to the last 3 months, it has been quite sad in that we have been recording fatal road traffic accidents involving public service vehicles. We also want vehicle owners to be responsible by ensuring that no vehicles travels on the country's road without being insured. As the police, we will also investigate how certain vehicles will get involved in accidents where people die, accidents where people are injured, pass through certain checkpoints. Where there is an element of negligence on the part of police officers, the Minister for Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage has already alluded to that fact. The Commissioner General of Police has already alluded to that fact. Action will be taken.
Recent accidents is one which claimed 5 lives in Mazowe this Monday, and another that saw 8 people being burned beyond recognition when a bus caught fire in Gandanzara on Sunday. Farai Gwase, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe and China are cementing diplomatic relations as the two countries explore more areas of cooperation.
The visiting delegation from China's Shaanxi province, led by chairperson of the province, Mr. Tang Dengjing, met government and council officials from Mashonaland North Province, led by the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Richard Moyo, in Harare. The engagement culminated in the identification of investment opportunities for possible partnerships between the two provinces.
2022, we signed the letter of intent between Mat North and Shaanxi province, and this visit by the chairman of the Communist Party from Shaanxi province was to come and strengthen our relationship between the two provinces. We discussed about in mining sector, tourism, and also agriculture.
Mr. Tang Dengjing said they are keen to partner Matabeleland North Province in tourism and education development. Meanwhile, Shaanxi Province has handed over a cash donation to Matabeleland North Province to assist with mitigating the impact of climate change. Shaanxi Province also offered educational scholarships for the people of Matabeleland North Province who wish to pursue their studies in the Chinese province. Zimbabwe and China enjoy strong bilateral relations in various sectors, which include infrastructure development. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Still on matters on engagement and re-engagement, Zimbabwe and the European Union are seeking to deepen cooperation and relations to ensure their relations reflect shared goals for economic growth.
Zimbabwe's open for business mantra continues to bear fruit, with the European Union confirming trade between the two is on a positive trajectory. Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Ambassador Albert Chimbindi, met the Director General for Africa at the European Union External Action Service, Ms. Rita Ralajania, on the sidelines of the SADC-EU ministerial meeting in Luanda, Angola this Tuesday, where discussions centered on improving relations between Zimbabwe and the EU bloc.
We had a very productive meeting with the EU, which covered a broad range of issues, from governance issues, democracy issues, issues to do with the trade relationship between Zimbabwe and the EU. And the most important thing was that we're trying to find a shared understanding of the issues that are at hand and how we can make sure that we have a relationship that reflects the ambition that we have between Zimbabwe and the EU.
Ms. Larajina acknowledged the ongoing trade negotiations between the EU and Zimbabwe and the progress recorded.
We had a very useful and long meeting, I think a very frank discussion on the relationships between EU and Zimbabwe. We exchanged, I was also accompanied by my colleague from Director General Trade. You know that there are ongoing negotiations between the EU and Zimbabwe on trade matters, and I think that we made good progress in that regard on the understanding where we can continue to take these negotiations forward.
Zimbabwe-EU relations began in 1982 and are governed by the ACP-EU Partnership Agreement, a comprehensive framework for cooperation between the Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific group of states and the European Union. Since the inception of the Second Republic, relations between Zimbabwe and the EU have improved, resulting in enhanced political and trade relations. Olindori, ZBC News.
Citizens Coalition for Change President Professor Welshman Ncube says the opposition outfit's former leader, Advocate Nelson Chamisa's undemocratic maneuvers destroyed the party. He was speaking at a media briefing in Harare, where he announced that it is now time to engage government for the economic development of the country.
The opposition political outfit, Citizens Coalition for Change CCC, has been left in chaos after a heavy defeat in the 2023 general elections, which led to the resignation of Advocate Nelson Chamisa, with a new leadership taking over. Briefing journalists in Harare this Wednesday, CCC President Professor Welshman Ncube said Advocate Chamisa destroyed the opposition by engaging in undemocratic activities.
We accepted as National Council that we slept on duty. We accepted our acts of omission and commission in failing to assert ourselves as the National Council of a democratic movement, timeously.
On the election outcome, Professor Ncube said it is water under the bridge, hence the need to engage government going forward.
We debated and discussed the issue of the 2018-2023 elections. We resolved that as part of our engagement with government and ZANU-PF as a political player, we should engage them not necessarily on the outcomes of those elections.
Professor Ncube's statement confirmed the long-standing undemocratic principles that have rocked opposition politics from the days of the MDC, which split into several other political formations under the leadership of the late Morgan Tsvangirai. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, the MDCT is set to host a party policy conference, with the leadership saying they're still part of the country's political landscape. Our political editor, Bruce Chawanda, spoke to MDCT spokesperson, Mr. Chengetai Guta.
A lot has been happening in Zimbabwe and on the political front. And today I'm joined by MDC spokesperson, Mr. Chengetai Guta, to give us an insight into these issues. Mr. Guta, the issue of policy conference, where are we?
The policy conference is where we are going to come together as a party from all across the country and define our path in terms of policy, where we differ with the ruling party. We are going to be offering solid policy alternatives that will keep the ruling party on its toes.
You mentioned that you want to give the ruling party a run for their money, but in the political circles, you have been declared dead as a political outfit. How do you respond to this?
Well, actually, I would look at it as just banter. It's nothing that is really that anyone can go by and say the opposition is dead. The opposition is not dead. And this is the very reason why we are saying we are on an agenda, the 3 R's agenda: reset, restart, and recover all. A lot has happened in the opposition, but surely we are not dead.
What's your comment? The infrastructure side of things.
We have seen quite a bit of some developments in terms of infrastructure, the roads, and other hospitals, clinics, and so on and so forth. Number one, it's not sufficient, but well, of course, it's better than not having anything at all to start with.
Government says it is the sole custodian of the Zimbabwe national fabric. In a statement, the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Rwodzi, said the ministry has the sole responsibility of distributing the national fabric through its Zimbabwe Tourism Authority provincial offices at a gazetted nominal fee of $4 per meter. Honorable Rwodzi said they work with a few selected outlets which distribute the fabric at the gazetted price. She noted that the national fabric was previously sold between $9 and $12 before the ministry intervened to get the price gazetted downwards to $4. She urged the nation to continue taking pride in its identity, culture and heritage through the national fabric. Meanwhile, Honorable Rwodzi castigated falsehoods by some media outlets claiming that the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, is cashing in on the national fabric, saying such claims appear calculated to soil her good image. Well, remember, for these and other stories, you can log on to our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also check our social media handles at ZBC News Online on X as well as on Facebook. And remember also to subscribe to our channels on YouTube and WhatsApp. We're at ZBC News Online.
And now for stories still to come in this bulletin. Government effects the 50-50 currency ratio for payment of income tax by corporates. And in sport, Zimbabwe line up strong team for Africa Senior Athletics Championships. On that note, we take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
This is the currency we've been waiting for. A currency that's not just paper and coins, but a symbol of Zimbabwe's rich resources and stability. That's Zimbabwe Gold. This is ZIG. Let's dive into what makes ZIG not just a new currency, but a new beginning for Zimbabwe's economy. ZIG is born out of a blend of traditional and innovative financial wisdom, anchored in gold and precious metals, along with foreign currency reserves. This backing isn't just for show, it's a promise of stability and trust, ensuring that ZIG's value is as solid as the gold it's pegged to. From the bustling markets of Harare to the serene landscapes of rural Zimbabwe, ZIG is set to become the medium of exchange that's both reliable and accessible, with denominations ranging from ZIG 200 to ZIG 1 and even handy coins. It caters to every transaction, big or small. Transitioning to ZIG is a breeze. It's all about inclusivity, ensuring no one is left behind in Zimbabwe's financial renaissance. ZIG doesn't walk alone. It co-circulates with other foreign currencies under Zimbabwe's multi-currency system, enriching our financial landscape. It's a legal tender that not only simplifies transactions, but also restores confidence in our economy, promising a future where stability and growth go hand in hand. So why ZIG? Because it's more than just money. It's a symbol of Zimbabwe's resilience, a step towards an economy where stability is the norm, and every Zimbabwean can look forward to a prosperous future. Welcome to the era of Zimbabwe Gold, where our currency is our pride.
Why is Pizza Inn Zimbabwe's favorite? Must be the pizza.
Must be the perfectly kneaded dough.
The thick and rich pizza sauce.
Must even be the fresh and delicious toppings.
The soft and tasty mozzarella cheese.
All oven baked to make the perfect combination of mouth-watering pizza.
But it doesn't end there. At Pizza Inn, we're big on more. More pizzas, more extras, and more sharing.
With our delicious range of crowd-pleasing favorites, you'll have plenty to share with him or them, and even those guys. Share the fun with Zimbabwe's favorite.
Pizza Inn, must be the pizza.
Trust Academy, in associate of Great Zimbabwe University, is enrolling for June Intake 2024 and for the following diplomas: Community Development and Office Administration. With a minimum of 5 O-levels, you can enroll and get your diploma. Graduate and you can pursue a degree with Great Zimbabwe University. We offer both online and face-to-face interactive learning. For more information, contact us on our WhatsApp number 0775 690 007. Visit our campuses at number 52 4th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue in Bulawayo. And in Harare, we are at number 14 Livingstone Avenue. Visit our website www.trustacademy.ac.zw. Trust Academy, a training for excellence.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
Oh no!
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Traders at Mbare Musika in Harare have not been deterred by the sharp drop in temperatures this winter as they make their way to the popular marketplace as early as 3 a.m. Our news crew braved the chilly early morning weather to explore the goings-on at the trading market during this cold season. We get more from the following report.
It's a cold Wednesday morning, and as would be expected in winter, most people dread just the prospect of getting out of bed, but not for the traders at Mbare Musika. Arriving there between 5 and 6 a.m., one is met by an early morning rush, which shows business has already started well before 5 a.m. It's almost daybreak and still a bit dark, but as they say, fortune favors the brave. The morning rush includes buyers, and their presence comes with rich pickings for the traders who get the first customers and know what is on demand.
Zviri kunetsa nekuti kune kuchitonhora saka unotongoshingirira makuseni ndoitiwo vanhu vanenge vachienda kumabasa vanongonhonga-nhongawo.
Chegorino chiri kutonhora zvakanyanya asi tiri kungoshinga zvakadaro tinotomuka zvakangodaro tinenge chiitira kuti ndongo yacho kuti ushande ukazononokawo unogona kuzowana kuti zvapera.
Not too far from the lady selling jackets, there's a fire where a man is already selling roasted mealies, and while one may think it's still too early for a meal, customers are flocking in.
Ndinoenda muka na 4 ndosvika panapa na 4 ndobadza moto na 4 ndisati atobvadza moto maclients anenge akutobvisa chivake ndengesa inenge muguri 20 makuseni anayi.
As things turn out, it's never too early for roasted mealies, and the warmth from the fire is an incentive, so they will linger a little longer, even after they have made their purchase.
Icho chita tochibata takutoisa salt totoja totodzokera kumba tinoita mhanyira kumboya kumabhazi sapa kudzoka panyama dzakuda dzidzirwe.
Across the mealies vendor is a mini grocery store, and the owners sum up for us what happens in Mbare by telling us Chinonzi Mbare kumuka makuseni. This, loosely translated, means if you want to operate at Mbare, you have to be an early riser. Early morning sales here are mostly for bread and milk.
Chinonzi Mbare kumuka makuseni ndo chinonzi Mbare time.
Of course, it is acceptable in these low temperatures to have an extra layer of clothes, and for this gentleman, it seems he has everything in doubles, well, except the shoes.
Maglovos tofika 2 maglovos. 2 maglovos. 2 maglovos, 2 mabottom, 2 masocks, 1 boot.
And then there are those who come to buy vegetables for resale, just like these two ladies who have already bought tomatoes and are rushing back home in time to prepare for their school-going children. They have braved the weather and will probably hustle for life, but they also have an interesting story to tell.
tatoodha takutodzokera kumba totosvika togadzira vana vechikoro 20 totosvika nevamwe automukaka andoshamisa kuti matobva kumbare totomudza kuti tatobva azotosvika kuti ako nhaimi ndipewo kamabrekeji takutotikumbira mabrekeji but tisatomuka tega.
Hot or cold, Mbare will always be Mbare, the heart of Harare, where money changes hands and the wheels continue to turn. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, they say the earliest bird catches the best worm, and we applaud all those Zimbabweans who brave the chilly weather to fend for their families in an honest manner. Time now for us to cross over to our Montreal studios, where we are joined by Sibukele Maposa. Good evening, Sibukele.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Justin. Let's carry on with the bulletin. The country's premier mining, engineering and transport expo, Mine Intra, set for Bulawayo next month, is expected to unlock more opportunities in the mining sector value chains.
In a media briefing in Bulawayo this Wednesday, Zimbabwe International Trade Fair Chief Executive Officer Dr. Nicholas Ndebele gave an insight into what to expect at the expo, where the focus will be on beneficiation.
Mining is quite key in promoting exports or export earnings for the country. So it's quite key for us to promote this particular industry, particularly with respect to growing the value chains. The entire value chain of the mining industry is important that we, as a country, we don't just rely on exporting raw minerals. We also value add locally, beneficiate our, and thereby also promoting the industries.
Over 170 exhibitors have confirmed participation, with 9 companies from South Africa, United Kingdom and China part of the cast, running under the theme Unearthing Success, the Mining Value Chains, Innovation and Industrialization Nexus. Mine Intra will be held from the 17th to the 19th of July. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
As government works towards achieving a $5 billion United States tourism industry by next year, players in the sector have been rallied to formalize their operations, a crucial step towards building a world-class hospitality industry. Let's hear more.
Zimbabwe's tourism industry, poised to be a major driver of economic growth, has set its sights on a phenomenal target of a staggering $5 billion United States industry by next year. The Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Rodzi, is convinced the target can be reached if stakeholders across the tourism sector formalize their operations and unlock the industry's full potential.
Registering any tourism facility is very critical for us as a government. Number one, it benefits both sides, the government of Zimbabwe as well as the operators. As well as if they need to expand their businesses, we can gladly chip in. When they need rebate or any other advantages that the government will be offering to the operators, we will quickly also chip in. So there are advantages that are there for the operators to be registered, but more so to be known by your government that you are operating a business is a law.
The implementation of a comprehensive grading system for tourism facilities has also been highlighted as a key step towards expanding the market base and building confidence among tourists.
We have a division that is specifically for quality and standards management of every facility. And we take a blame. We have not been doing our job as expected by the operators and even across the nation. Now we are getting back to that. And once it's known by tourists that ZTA has a business unit that focuses only on quality grading and standard management, boosts their confidence.
The tourism and hospitality industry contributes a significant 5.7% to the national GDP and 3.5% to the total employment in the country, with estimated receipts of $1.1 billion in 2023. The ministry is conducting tourism amendment bill consultations to modernize and industrialize the sector in line with Vision 2030. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority says the country is enduring a ballooning hippo population, contrary to some media reports claiming the numbers are declining.
Fresh from an aerial survey conducted in 2022, which indicated the opposite, Zimpax is now glaring at false narratives that the country's hippo population is decreasing. The authority says, on the contrary, the country is grappling with a ballooning population of the water mammals, with fears the hippos will be affected by the current El Nino-induced drought.
The Parks and Wildlife Management Authority and the Department of National Parks of Zambia were supported by African Wildlife Foundation. The African Wildlife Foundation was a co-financier to conduct a joint hippopotamus survey within the Zambezi River. The survey was conducted in October 2022 over a stretch of 262 kilometers. However, we are extremely concerned by some media reports which seems to give a picture that the hippo population is declining in Zambezi River.
According to the World Population Review of 2023, the distribution of the hippo population varies considerably from one country to another, largely depending on the availability of protected areas, food sources, and suitable habitats. The majority of hippos, about 77%, are located in East Africa, with Zambia and Tanzania boasting of the largest hippo populations in the world. Zimbabwe accounts for over 5,000 of these mammals, which are also a tourist attraction on its major and small water bodies found in national parks. Mhlomo Lingcobe, ZBC News, Wange.
And that'll be all from the Montrose News Desk. I am Sibugele Maposa. Now circling back to Pockets Hill, where Tari and Justin will take us through the rest of the bulletin. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Sibukele. Now, the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe is warning the public against buying medicines from unverified sources, including street corners.
This comes amid a worrying increase in the practice, which is posing a significant public health threat. The Agency for Caution coincides with Zimbabwe's recent recognition for pharmaceutical regulation, highlighting the country's commitment to safe and effective medication.
You'll find that vendors will actually board buses at Mbaremsika selling ibuprofen tablets as if they are selling bananas. And members of our public will actually buy those medicines. And this creates a market for illicit substances. In fact, one of our biggest challenges is that our people seem very eager to buy medicines on the streets. I think they believe that if it looks like a medicine, then it is a medicine.
George Nyamayaro, chairperson of the Community Pharmacists Association and director for Diamond Pharmacies, echoed the same sentiments.
I urge the public to buy their medicines from registered institutions, which are pharmacies. They should not buy medicines from unregistered sources, even in the road.
MCAZ is actively combating the sale of unlicensed medicines, working with law enforcement to conduct raids and inspections on suspected dealers. Some commonly purchased unregulated medicines in Zimbabwe include antibiotics like ciprofloxacin, pain medications like Lofenac, and weight loss products.
Now, I know many of you will recall this bit from way, way back. Let me try. And I'm trying, but this is the bit that made the news for years. The drums that created the Jerusalem Mbende beat played on ZBC News bulletins have been donated to the Museum of African Liberation.
The drums that created the immortal drum beat, which became the signature tune for ZBC News bulletins on radio and television, will now be part of the artifacts housed in the Museum of African Liberation. The drums, together with other instruments and apparels donned by the late drummer Douglas Vambe, were handed over by his uncle, Senator Conrad Jerry Gotora, at the Museum of African Liberation in Harare this Wednesday.
The daughter came and said, Sekuru, go and give these artifacts to the museum so that it becomes artifacts for posterity. But we must also remember that this drum beat was recognized by UNESCO as an intangible heritage.
Institute of African Knowledge, INSTAC Chief Executive Officer Ambassador Kwame Mzawazi is alive to the value of the national treasure.
That sound will be found in the Museum of African Liberation in terms of the equipment that he used during its creation. And that sound was so powerful that it exceeded colonial limitations. Even the Rhodesian Broadcasting Corporation itself bought into the sound, the African sound, and it is identical to the announcement of events of the day, the main news bulletin, BBC, and I think now even every hour.
The Museum of the African Liberation has received artifacts from within and beyond the country's borders, cementing its position as a reliable source of African liberation history. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
On that note, we break for business.
This is the currency we've been waiting for. A currency that's not just paper and coins, but a symbol of Zimbabwe's rich resources and stability. That's Zimbabwe Gold. This is ZIG. Let's dive into what makes ZIG not just a new currency, but a new beginning for Zimbabwe's economy. ZIG is born out of a blend of traditional and innovative financial wisdom, anchored in gold and precious metals, along with foreign currency reserves. This backing isn't just for show, it's a promise of stability and trust, ensuring that ZIG's value is as solid as the gold it's pegged to. From the bustling markets of Harare to the serene landscapes of rural Zimbabwe, ZIG is set to become the medium of exchange that's both reliable and accessible, with denominations ranging from ZIG 200 to ZIG 1 and even handy coins. It caters to every transaction, big or small. Transitioning to ZIG is a breeze. It's all about inclusivity, ensuring no one is left behind in Zimbabwe's financial renaissance. ZIG doesn't walk alone. It co-circulates with other foreign currencies under Zimbabwe's multi-currency system, enriching our financial landscape. It's a legal tender that not only simplifies transactions, but also restores confidence in our economy, promising a future where stability and growth go hand in hand. So why ZIG? Because it's more than just money. It's a symbol of Zimbabwe's resilience, a step towards an economy where stability is the norm, and every Zimbabwean can look forward to a prosperous future. Welcome to the era of Zimbabwe Gold, where our currency is our pride.
Zimbabwe's mining legacy is a story etched deep in our soil. It's a tale of hard work, resilience, and human ingenuity in unearthing riches and building a nation. This commitment to progress continues as mining industry players continue to unlock the vast potential of our mineral reserves, driving economic transformation through innovation, mineral beneficiation, and value addition. Are you ready to be part of the next chapter? Explore cutting-edge advancements and discover endless opportunities in Zimbabwe's expanding mining value chains at the 27th edition of Mine Entra, taking place from July 17 to 19, 2024 at the Zimbabwe International Exhibition Center in Bulawayo. Register via our website www.zitf.co.zw. Mine Entra 2024, unearthing success, the mining value chains, innovation and industrialization nexus.
Yave nguva yekudya kwemangwanani kwakakosha nesiri yeuyenyu yamunofarira inogadzirwa muno muZimbabwe. Nestle Cerevita izere neutano unosanganisira iron, mavitamins nemaminerals zvinopa simba zuva rese. Saka zvakakosha kutanga zuva zvine ungwaro. Nestle Cerevita, highly nutritious, simply delicious.
Why is pizza in Zimbabwe's favorite? Must be the pizza.
Must be the perfectly kneaded dough.
The thick and rich pizza sauce.
Must even be the fresh and delicious toppings.
The soft and tasty mozzarella cheese.
All oven baked to make the perfect combination of mouth-watering pizza.
But it doesn't end there. At Pizza Inn, we're big on more. More pizzas, more extras, and more sharing.
With our delicious range of crowd-pleasing favorites, you'll have plenty to share with him or them, and even those guys. Share the fun with Zimbabwe's favorite.
Pizza Inn. Must be the pizza.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
Oh no!
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
See, sorry. That's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We now give you the business news. The government has effected the 50-50% ratio for payment of the 2024 second quarter income tax by corporates and what could be a major boost to the stability of the local ZiG currency.
In a statement this Wednesday, the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mtuli said authorities are grateful to Zimbabweans for accepting the newly introduced Zimbabwe Gold ZiG. He said that the move has seen the economy experiencing relative stability since April this year. As part of measures to consolidate the gains by the local structured currency, Treasury has seen it necessary to assure the nation that taxes will be paid in the currency of the transactions in the multiple currency system. The fiscal authorities have revealed that the 50-50% ratio will be applied to corporates when they pay quarterly income taxes that are due by the end of this month. The move is further expected to stimulate demand for the Zimbabwe gold. In a multiple currency setup, the ZiG currently holds firm against other trading currencies. Backed by gold, other precious minerals and foreign currency reserves, the structured currency is being considered by Treasury as the path to long-term stability in Zimbabwe. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Next, we look at sport after this break.
If you drink, be responsible.
Mama said, don't work hard, work soft, it'll be alright. So soft, soft care. Soft cake. Soft cake.
In Zimbabwe, communities are the heart and soul of the nation. We at Stanbic Bank believe that a thriving nation is built on the well-being of its people. That's why we are committed to being a force for good, not just as a financial institution, but as a responsible corporate citizen. We're dedicated to supporting easy and vast access to public healthcare in Zimbabwe. Our contributions have provided essential equipment for hospitals, like a theater for Salim Gabe Hospital, and dialysis machines at Marondera Hospital and Gwanda Provincial Hospital. Stanbic Bank refurbished Tariro Hostel at Salim Gabe Hospital. Additionally, we are supporting access to surgical procedures to children with bone conditions that could otherwise become permanent disabilities if not treated in the early years of their lives through Cure Children's Hospital in Bulawayo. Recognizing the importance of a robust healthcare ecosystem, Stanbic Bank has partnered with organizations like the Albino Charity Organization of Zimbabwe and Cancer Association of Zimbabwe, and also provided debt capital injections to retool the private health sector, ensuring access to quality healthcare for all Zimbabweans. Clean water and sanitation are fundamental human rights. Stanbic Bank is actively involved in addressing this need. We have drilled boreholes at hospitals, including providing clean water for patients and staff. Additionally, our sanitary pad distribution program empowers young girls by ensuring their access to sanitary hygiene products, thereby avoiding missing school. Investing in education is investing in the future. Through our bursary program, we are helping bright young minds with financial challenges to reach their full potential. We are also funding the development of infrastructure to reduce the national schools deficit and improvement of dated facilities. Additionally, our participation in Global Money Week promotes financial literacy among young people, empowering them to manage their finances effectively. Financial inclusion is key to economic empowerment. Our Incubator Hub activities provide entrepreneurs with the tools and resources they need to thrive. This fosters a more inclusive and prosperous Zimbabwe. At Stanbic Bank, we are proud to be aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals and have been awarded the top award at the National ESG and CSR Awards in 2022 and 2023. We are deeply committed to Zimbabwe, our home. We will continue to drive her growth by supporting the well-being of her communities.
Why is pizza in Zimbabwe's favorite? Must be the pizza.
Must be the perfectly kneaded dough.
The thick and rich pizza sauce.
Must even be the fresh and delicious toppings.
The soft and tasty mozzarella cheese.
All oven baked to make the perfect combination of mouth-watering pizza.
But it doesn't end there. At Pizza Inn, we're big on more. More pizzas, more extras, and more sharing.
With our delicious range of crowd-pleasing favorites, you'll have plenty to share with him or them, and even those guys. Share the fun with Zimbabwe's favorite.
Pizza Inn. Must be the pizza.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We now give you the sports news. Zimbabwe will be represented by a strong 11-member team in the Africa Senior Athletics Championships, which get underway on Friday in Douala, Cameroon.
The team is set to compete in 9 disciplines, including 100-meter, 200-meter, hurdles, 400-meter, relays, and long jump. Tapiwa Nashe Makarau, who is set to represent the country at the upcoming Olympic Games, headlines the team at the 23rd Africa Championships. The sprinter won bronze at the last edition and will be eager to do better this time, judging by his current form. Makarau will compete in the 100-meter and 200-meter events before teaming up with Ngoni Makusha, Dixon Kamurengemu, and Takudzwa Chiyangwa for the 4x100-meter relay event. African Games bronze medalist Ashley Miller will return to the continental stage with eyes set on qualifications for the Paris Olympics. The United States of America-based hurdler will be keen on making the time for the global showpiece with sprinter Vimbai Maishurewa, who has been missing in national team colors for a while. Triple jumper Chingetai Mapaya and long jumper Tafadzwa Chikomba, who are also looking at Olympic qualifications, have set the stage alight in the United States of America college circuit. Apart from the individual competitions, Zimbabwe also aims to qualify for the Olympic Games in the 4x100-meter and 4x400-meter events. As it stands, there are 2 more slots on the basis of world rankings, and if the teams garner enough points, they will be joining 5 Zimbabwean athletes who have already qualified for this year's Olympics. Zimbabwe had a poor outing at the previous edition of the Africa Senior Athletics Championships held in Mauritius 2 years ago after getting 1 bronze medal.
And now to soccer news, where Zimbabwe's preparations for the 2024 COSAFA Cup are in shambles, with the ZIFA Normalization Committee still mum on the team's plans. This comes as the organizers of the regional tournament have confirmed the fixtures, where Zimbabwe will kick off their campaign with a date against the Comoros on the 27th of this month.
The 2024 COSAFA Cup kicks off on the 26th of this month in Gqeberha, South Africa. Zimbabwe will start their quest for a 7th title a day later when they take on Minos Comoros at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. The Warriors will face a record 7-time champions Zambia and a guest nation Kenya in the other Group B matches. With just a week before the tournament kicks off, the ZIFA Normalization Committee is yet to unveil the team's itinerary amid indications the Warriors are likely to leave for South Africa on Sunday, just 3 days before facing Comoros. Shoddy preparations have been the order of the day for the Warriors, and it doesn't look like it is going to end soon. All the other 3 teams in Pool B have already named their squads, with all of them going for youth. Warriors interim coach Jairus Tapera has indicated his preference for under-23 players, but he's yet to get the green light from the ZIFA Normalization Committee. Tapera will also be limited to 2 players per team, as the Premier Soccer League announced that they will not be taking a break for the regional tourney. The interim coach directed all questions to the Normalization Committee, but this news crew did not find any joy as the committee was coy over the Warriors' preparations.
Now in the domestic league, Kasalaga Premier Soccer League Globe leaders FC Platinum's pedigree will come under the litmus test this Saturday when they host the high-flying Simba Bora at Mandava Stadium.
After assuming pole position last week and setting in motion their intention to reclaim the league title, Log leaders FC Platinum will be involved in a tricky home tie against a well-resourced Simba Bora. Norman Mapesa's men would have wanted to avoid such a tricky fixture at this moment of the marathon, although on the other hand, it is a match which can solidify their position. The 2 sides collide in Saturday's blockbuster, oozing with confidence after victories in their last outings. The Platinum Miners are the league's informed team with 5 victories in their last 6 encounters, while Simba Bora are seeking consistency after winning their last 2 matches. In other matches on Saturday, Pikita Minerals, known for holding their own against big clubs, welcome Wounded Chicken Inn at Sakuva Stadium, while Herentals face off with defending champions Gezi Platinum Stars at Tufaro. A battle of Minos awaits Luveve as Arnold Movers dead till 1, while ZPC Kariba entertain Bulawa Chiefs at Nyamunga. After being dethroned from the summit, Manica Diamonds have a tricky home fixture to Dynamos on Sunday. Manica Diamonds coach Jairus Tapera believes the break caught up with his charges after losing the momentum.
I surely was impressed with the
the way we conducted ourselves in terms of defending. We were so solid. I saw some flashes of brilliance in my defending that, and I was afraid with this rain that we had that we might have lost one or two of the sharpness, but it looked like we were organized so much.
Timbaro, on the other hand, are under pressure to turn draws into victories.
Of course, every game at Dynamos, you are under pressure. And also to the fans, they want us to win games. And, as a coach, you also need to win games. So at times, you need we need to work extra hard so that we change these draws to the maximum point.
In other matches, Harare Giants Capes United did Chegutu Pirates at Rufaro, while Greenfield faced Yada in Chisumbanje. Wange could turn out to be party spoilers after finding their groove last week as they face Highlanders at Papafield Stadium. Mtokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And it's now time for the weather report.
Windy weather is expected in the forecast period, but for now we're expecting generally sunny skies across much of the country, as shown in our satellite image where we had generally clear skies over much of the country. However, our system to watch is coming in from the southeast, where we're expecting moisture to drift in later on in the forecast period. For our detailed forecast, however, for tomorrow we're still expecting sunny skies across much of the country, with just clouds drifting into the south and eastern parts of the country later on in the day. This should give us very cold morning conditions, becoming rather mild over much of the country by afternoon, just slightly cooler over Matabele and South and Mashingo. We're expecting a bit of windy weather towards evening. For our detailed temperature forecast, we're expecting Harare to have a maximum of 23, slight drop over Bulawayo, we're expecting a maximum of 24, also for Gweru, slightly dropping to about 23, with the morning temperature about 2 degrees, making it rather very cold over Gweru area in the morning, whilst Mutare is at 24 by afternoon, 25 into Kwekwe and 26 into Kadoma. We're expecting rather mild conditions by afternoon. For Mashingo, we're expecting windy weather towards evening with a maximum of 24, slightly lower than it was today, where it was at 26 by afternoon, whilst the morning temperature is 6 degrees also in Chinhoyi, a maximum of 26 by afternoon. Lupane 27 by afternoon, morning temperature about 5 degrees, also very cold in the morning over Lupane area. Much warmer over Pindura, we're expecting a maximum of 24, morning temperature about 9 degrees. 3 in the morning over Marondera, with a slight chance of ground frost over Marondera area, with a maximum of only 22. Gwanda is at 27 by afternoon, slightly lower than it was today, with a maximum of 29 degrees by afternoon today. For Victoria Falls, we're expecting a maximum of 27. 7 is our morning temperature, whilst 10 is the morning temperature of Kariba, going as high as 30 by afternoon. Morning temperature about 6 degrees over Great Zimbabwe, 9. Also projected for some of the cities, whilst Nyanga is at 3 degrees, making it prone to ground frost for tomorrow, but slightly windy towards evening, making a maximum of 19 by afternoon. 5 is our minimum over Matopos, with slight chance of frost, whilst our maximum is 24, whilst Chimanimani gets cooler towards evening with those windy conditions projected with a maximum only 21. Cloudy conditions are expected over the southern parts of the country, Matabele and south into Mashingo, as well as Manicaland just briefly in the morning, making it slightly cooler over those areas because of the windy aspect, but it should be generally mild over the northern parts, with generally sunny skies projected for much of the day. That's all for our weather and forecast. Been a pleasure, Zimbabwe. I'm James Koma Jr. for the Met Department.
Thank you so much, James, for the weather update. Before we go, a recap of the main stories. South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa has been sworn in as president for the second term.
Government effects the 50-50 currency ratio for payment of income tax by corporates.
And in sports, Zimbabwe lines up strong team for Africa's Senior Athletics Championships.
And on that note, we conclude tonight's news bulletin. Good night.
Good night.
Nestled in the heart of Central Asia, cradled by the majestic Pamir Mountains, lies Dushanbe, the vibrant capital of Tajikistan. This fascinating city boasts a rich history